So once I've chosen the game, if you like, I've got to find out the rules of the game and then how I can break them. So if you've never seen a LinkedIn ad before, basically like when you're browsing LinkedIn, you've got these ads on the right side of the page that come up, a bit like Google AdWords. And so the first set of rules I had to learn about was what are the rules of this ad unit? And now I just love breaking stuff. I love breaking websites. I should have been a QA tester probably. So the way I found out the rules is I just typed in random shit into the text boxes and see what you can do with it. And so I found the rules that basically you had to have a title, less than 25 characters, an image, like 50 pixels by 50 pixels, and a short description. Now, a bonus, I didn't actually use this kind of loophole, but actually you could set the name as who the advert was from anyone. So if you wanted, you could make an ad looking like it came from Google. That was just a loophole, I didn't use that. And so the next set of rules was, all right, you've got your advert, and then the next set of rules is about how you target your ad. Now, LinkedIn lets you do some really cool stuff. You can target by the company that someone's at and the job title. And basically, as you layer on this more specific targeting, you see that number on the right. It shows you how many people are going to see your ad. So me being me, and as I said, you want to find out what are the rules. I tried running an ad just targeting super specific. So just job title CEO, company Vungle. So we're targeting a person of 1, okay? So that number on the right said 1. But it didn't let you do that. It says you've got to target your ad to more people. You're not targeting enough people. So I added one more company. So now I'm targeting the CEO of Vungle or AOL. So that's 2 people. But it's still saying, that's not a big enough set. So I added one more company. And that's too small. One more. No. And so now we've got Microsoft and Apple in there as well, so that's 5. And then keep layering on. So now it's targeting 6, and I was saying it's not enough. I'm not sure how much time we've got, but I want to keep going through this because this is the process that I went through, so I want you guys to see as well. We're going to find out the rules. So targeting 7 people now. Okay, what the hell? It accepted it. So now we know the rules that we can target 7 people is the minimum number of people you need to run an ad on LinkedIn. I don't know why they chose that number. Maybe nobody had actually done this process before. But for me, having found out this, what that meant is I now knew how to target down to an individual person. Because what I could do is I could target, hey, the exact person, let's say the CEO of Vungle, and then what I could do is I could just add in random people that probably are not even going to see my ad. Let's say like Bank of China or Mexican TV studio or something. Like I'd have my person I want and then like 6 randomers that I don't really care. And so the next bit was how to pay for your ad. Now, LinkedIn, they recommended to pay per person that clicks the ad. They recommended paying like $8. But the thing is, because I'm only targeting 7 people, it made sense to actually pay on the other option they give, which is CPM, to pay per 1,000 impressions. I'm targeting 7 people. And so they suggest that I bid $2.52 per 1,000 people. So that's what I'm going to go with. And the last set of rules is the review process. So basically, when you submit an ad on LinkedIn, it basically says, hey, we're going to review your ad. It will take 24 hours, and we'll get back to you. And some of the times when I submitted an ad, they rejected it. But what I found out is because you submit it and then they take 24 hours, it was a manual process. So what that meant is I could just submit exactly the same ad, and someone else the next day would review it, and then often it went through. And also, sometimes they didn't like like, if I was linking to a different website, they might say, like, hey, we don't like what you're linking to, you know? So what I did is I used a URL shortener. So I kind of put up the ad linking to one page, and then once they manually approved it, I just changed where that link was pointing to, so to point it somewhere else. Now, when you're finding out the rules and stuff, it's also important to know the risks, you know, of trying to play the game. And so, you know, I didn't do anything illegal, not too illegal, and the main risk for me was that my account could have got banned. So just the precaution I took against that was I just created a fake account to be testing with, you know. Now, I'm going to jump back to the story now. So just to remind you, I had been in London, just me and my business partner, tiny office, and we'd seen this TechCrunch article that there's one spot left. And so we needed to get Tomas, the guy that's running it, how can we get his attention? So using these bits I found, what I did is I created an advert on LinkedIn with a picture of his face. So this fits in with doing the rules. It's a 50 by 50 picture. It's a title less than 75 characters. And then what I did is, because I can now have this ability to target down to an individual person, I targeted it to him, and people connected to him. So his colleagues, his different investors, etc. And so basically, I'd seen this TechCrunch post on Thursday, and so I read this post, said to my business partner, like, hey man, we should apply, and then just kind of quickly hack together this ad campaign that same day. And so basically, if you were browsing LinkedIn that day and you're connected to Tomas, you'd see a picture of his face on the side of the screen. And when you click it, it took you to a landing page. And this was a video that we just did in one take. So I just pulled out my phone and I just started filming my business partner. So I was like, gave my business partner a phone. We just did this in one take. And I was like, pitch into the phone, why do we deserve this last spot? So basically, when you land on this page and click play, it's me and my business partner. We're talking directly to Tomas. We're like, Tomas, it's in your background. You're a legend. We deserve this last spot. We won't let you down. This is my phone number. This is my email address. Give me a call. And so this was Thursday. I kind of just went to sleep and forgot about it. And the next day, I just got this short email. Oh, sorry. And so basically had a phone call with him, and because he said, hey, can we have a call? So had this call, and he was like, hey, okay, so I've seen the advert. You got my attention. It's cool. But take it down now. It's like, everyone is calling me about this. He said he'd been on a flight from New York to San Francisco. He hadn't had email access. So he just got off his flight, and he's checking his iPhone. He had over 20 emails from people. Basically like, dude, have you seen this video? Like, these kids really want to talk to you. Now, basically, so we had this phone call on the Friday, and then basically the next week, we had another Skype call, and then he basically said, all right, guys, I've decided who's got the last spot. Let's have a final Skype call. And we were like, man, like, we've got our team here. Do you have to reject us on video? Can't you just, like, phone us to reject us? And he's like, no, let's do a final Skype call. And so we had this call, and he's like, all right, guys, I've decided to take a risk. You guys have got the last spot. And so we're, like, high-fiving around the office. And he's like, okay, but if you take this last spot, you've got to move to America permanently, because I've invested in some companies before where they just go straight back to their own country, and, you know, the investors don't like it and stuff. So we were like, yep, that's fine, we'll move to America. And so we'd seen the ad on Thursday. This was the next Thursday. And he's like, all right, that's great. Well, it starts on Monday. So just get the first flight out here. So that's basically how I ended up in America. Now, the best thing about this ad is potentially how much it cost. So this is, as I said, I ran some targeting his friends, but one targeting Tomas cost 1 cent. Because I was paying per 1,000 impressions. Five people saw it, 2 people clicked it, and that was Tomas. So that cost 1 cent. Now, just to show that this wasn't kind of just luck, just some other examples of how I used this hack. I was just reading an article that Color at the time had just raised like 40 million. So we're like, okay, can we target the CEO of Color and do something? So, all right, objective, target the CEO of Bill, is Bill. And so we ran an ad with Bill's face on it, targeting people. And then got an email from Bill as well. He's like, hey, I've seen your ad. We've got an ad agent, because we were doing ad videos at the time. So he's like, we've already got an agency, but we'll try and let's see if we can slot you in. And he introed me to his team. And that cost $2.78 to get to Bill. And then Rovio, it's a big mobile gaming company. So we're like, all right, can we contact Rovio's CEO? He's called Michael Head. Now, we didn't get to Michael directly, but we got one of the VPs of Rovio sent us an email saying, like, hey, guys, smart ad. And we started talking to them. And that cost $3.24. And then we were like, all right, what about Spotify? Can we get them as a client? And so we just put up an ad saying, I want Spotify as a client. And then, got an email from Spotify saying, hey, you guys got our attention. And we actually got Spotify as a client, but that one was a bit more expensive. That was $16. Okay. So to summarize, this was the different steps that I took. Now, there's no point, we can't all in the audience like recreate step for step this advertising bit, otherwise they'll definitely ban us all. And that was a while ago, so LinkedIn have changed their systems, but hopefully you can kind of use those philosophies to hack whatever system you're coming up to. Whether that's applying for a job, if you've got a job, they tell you, just submit a job application. You might as well just throw your CV in the trash. Like, no, that's not going to get people's attention. The way that you do this is by looking at what's your objective, what's the game that I'm playing, and then finding out the rules of the game and how to break them. So this isn't just limited to LinkedIn advertising. I kind of take this thinking into lots of stuff that I do. And so these are my contact details, and I'd love to hear how you guys kind of use this thinking and what kind of hacks you come up with.